Good afternoon, my friends. Kevin the Comic Doctor coming to another episode of What's in the Press. That's right, the show where I go over and showcase many of the comic books that I'm working on week after week here at my office in Oshawa, Ontario, Canada. This week I put together a small selection of comics to share to you. Again, I'm always trying to keep this show to around 25 to 35 minutes with the chats. That's right. If you have any questions about comic book pressing, CGC submissions, comic collecting in general, hey, you know what? You can ask those questions on my chat section, but you have to subscribe to be able to do that. So hit that subscribe button, wait about a minute, and you should be able to ask questions in the chat section as well. And the chat section, I believe, is located right over here. I think. Anyways, guys, welcome. Today, you saw from the thumbnail, that's right, I have a pretty nice selection of books from Tony. And I promised Tony I'd have these books done for him by the end of last week. Didn't happen. Was still not feeling all that great, but I am working on the books now. And in fact, I was going to clean them today, but I had a lot of errands to run all day today, so I couldn't even clean these today. I'm going to do that this evening, and then get these books in the humidifier tonight so I can work on them tomorrow. So anyways, let's have just making sure they're all cool to look at. No names and stuff on them yet. They are. Okay, so first off, Tony submits. And Tony, he loves his Golden Age books. His Hulk and his Golden Age books. And so first off, we have Startling Terror Tales, number 11. A lot of books you're not going to see too often right here, thanks to Tony. Next, we have a copy of Archie 271. A nice copy of Captain America 109. Tony also sends us a copy of George Comics number 9. And this one looks like it's going to need some TLC. As you notice, some of the pages are kind of off kilter there. I'm going to go in there and try to straighten those out a little bit for Tony. Next, we got a Big 3 Comics number 1. Pretty cool looking book. And again, it's got quite the spine roll on it. I don't know how, you'll notice the spine here is kind of ripped and torn. I'll have to double check to make sure this book can handle. I don't think it's going to be able to. We'll see. Until I get it out and have a look, I'm not sure. But it may not be able to. Some books can handle being, the spines to be manipulated so that you can adjust the spine. So if you have a book that's fanning or a rounded spine or whatever you want to, or spine roll they call it, oftentimes you can correct that. But the book itself has to be in good enough condition to handle that kind of manipulation, right? Next, we got a really cool comic here, World's Finest number 8, right there. Pretty awesome. It's one of those square bound books right there, as you can see. Is it going to focus or what? There we go. Oh, there we are. It's one of those square bound books. A little trick to doing those. Some pencil marks on there we should be able to get off. Really cool. But again, this spine is at the bottom is in pretty rough shape. So, it's going to limit what can be done. Oh, come on. Focus. There we go. It's looking for my face. Right? There we go. It's going to limit what you can do to the book. If the spine is in really rough shape, it certainly does limit the amount of work you can do on it. Next, we've got a copy of, which was on our thumbnail, Action Comics number 35. Nice wartime comic. Pretty sick. Very early appearance of Superman. So there you go. And these books are from Tony out of Oshawa, actually. Next, we have, I have books from Auntie out of Montreal, but I can't show them, unfortunately. They're all taken out of their, I don't want to show books raw because that's asking for trouble. So they've already been prepped, so I'm not going to show them. But Auntie, your books are up. And Craig out of Toronto, at Toronto Vintage Comics. He's got some really nice books here. Again, I'll show you some of the more common ones first. First, we have a Teen Titans number 3, some DC books, and a Teen Titans number 2, and a really nice copy of Teen Titans number 1. Wow, sharp book. Really gonna be a high grade, this one. This is a really nice looking copy. We also have a newsstand copy of Amazing Spider-Man 252, right? Another nice copy of World's Finest 156, pretty popular cover with Bizarro Batman and Bizarro Superman breaking the Joker out of jail. We've got a copy of Thor 337, and again, it's the 75-cent newsstand variant. And we got a really sharp copy of Iron Man 55. Again, very jealous. A book that I sold, I shouldn't have. No, you know. Look, guys, I'm the comic doctor. I clean and press books. And you know what? I have books for sale at my shop. You guys have visited me at my shop. You know I do. But every book that I sell, I kind of get sad. I kind of get sad when I sell them. Because I'm a hoarder, and I like my books, too. I collect my books. And, yeah, I had an Iron Man 55. It was a 6.5. It wasn't a high grade, but I sold it about 2 years ago. As soon as I sold it, I regretted it. Anyways, Craig also submits a few older Black Cat books. A Black Cat number 26. Pretty nice. Another Black Cat number 28. Again, these are really nice copies, guys. You can't really tell with these, old crappy bags, but these are nice copies. All of Craig's books are nice grades. An Iron Man number... Oh, I didn't want to end with that. Oh, I guess I'm going to end with a modern book. An Iron Man number 2. And... and a G.I. Joe number 1 in a newsstand copy. And that's it for this week, guys. I mean, am I working on more? I sure as heck am. I just finished up Mike S.'s books. Those took forever. And again, I'm going to get working on, I was at the shop today working on a few other books as well, too. And we're working on, and I also started working on Vikram's books. And Vikram's books already, and Vikram had some nice books to share too. He had three copies of Invincible number 1 and a nice copy of Walking Dead number 1. Again, books I'm like, I don't have these. I really want them. But yeah, so keep him busy here at the Comic Doctor's office. Going to be sending out invoices in the next, I'm going to probably do some invoices tonight as well. And I don't know, the chat, is there anybody in the chat? Because I don't see the chat window working here. Let's see. Let's see what's going on here. Is anybody chatting? Can someone test the chat out for me? Because I don't see the chat working. And usually I have a few people saying hello. Let's see here. Live chat. Let's restore the chat and see if that works. Restore chat. Oh, yeah, there's lots of chat. Okay, one sec, guys. I'll be right there. It didn't work for some reason, but I got it working now. I'll go to... Okay, move that over here. Come here. I'll be in the chat in 1 second. I just got to set it up, guys. Give me 2 seconds. It doesn't take very long. Right about there. And like that. Like there. And like this. That was weird. Anyways. All right. Let's get and see who's here and say hello to everybody. I think I see James already first in the chat. How you doing, Real Hyperion? Your FF is on its way to Kenny's today. They picked it up. So off it goes. Nicholas Parker, long time no here. Nick, how you doing? Hey, Doc, how have you been? Is summer treating you well? Well, yes, the summer got off to a pretty darn slow start. As soon as summer started, I got COVID. And that has been a pretty crappy way to start the summer. So yeah, I had COVID for the most part of July and the beginning of August. I'm starting to feel, again, now I'm feeling a bit better today. The hot flashes seem to be subsiding now. But I still have a little bit of a cough once in a while. My voice doesn't sound as strong as it should be. But Nick, other than that, fantastic summer. Thanks for asking. Hope your summer's going good. Chuck's here as well. That's quite a book to start off with. It sure was. Hey, you start with a bang, right, Chuck? Prince Zodiac Neil. Hey everyone, what's up? How you doing, Prince? Good to see you. Nick Parker says, howdy PZ, how's it going? All right. Jameer, hey Kev, that's a quite thumbnail. Yes, when you get Golden Age books, you got to show them off, eh? Especially those DC Golden Age. You gotta love those DC Golden Age books. I'm gonna do a video talking about DC books very, very soon because there's a lot of happening in the world of DC that I think may impact, and some of you may have already seen a lot of that, but will impact the comics as well. So look for that coming up. If you haven't done so already, guys, hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you are the first to know when I do go live. Henry, hey, how you doing, Henry? Good afternoon from Montreal. Good to see you, Henry. John's here. Hey, Kevin, what's in the press? Oh, a few things. Stavros, hello from the island of Kefalonia. Oh, you show off, you. You show off. Every single person here wishes they were in Kefalonia. I guarantee it. Prince Zodiac, I don't know if it's a miler or what, but some of those books are looking great for their age. Well, like I said, Craig's Craig's books were quite pretty. Craig is really loves his high grade books. So, his high grade books. So definitely, some are certainly high grade. Mylars make any book nice. They do. They help. And by the way, if you're interested, I do have Mylars for sale at the store. Silver Age Mylars, and they're hard to come by from the Pro Line guys, but they sent me a case. So I have one case of Mylars. I'm going to keep one bag for myself, but I got another 900 for sale at the shop. So if you're in the market for some nice Mylars, Silver Age, I got to price them out still, but they're a hell of a lot cheaper than Gerber, I'll tell you right now. So if you're in Canada and you need Mylars, give me a holler. Christian V, do you have more fun cleaning and pressing lower grade and older books? I'm going to tell you. Good question. I think I like working mostly on Golden Age and Silver Age books the most, and even into the Bronze a little bit, like, 1970s books. 1980s books, I just finished doing Mike S's books, and that was a hell of a lot of work. They were all like mid-grade books, and they just needed so much detailed work. And some of them were really being stubborn. So I really had left a bad taste in my mouth, these modern books he gave me. But yeah, I really do like work. I find that Silver Age and Golden Age books really respond well to a press and clean. And so those are my favorite to do. I also like working on books that are generally, they have those pressable defects. Like they have the body problems, the face of the book has issues. And I like working on those because you can really work some miracles. Like right now I have 2 copies of Invincible #1 in the press, and they're going to press out great. The way I do the little trick I do to get them to look really sharp. And those are fun too, It's like Christian, I guess like when you paint a room in your house, or you put wallpaper up, or you renovate you stand back and you look and you feel like a sense of accomplishment that you finished the work. I used to do a lot of work. I don't do much work around the house anymore, but when I was a little younger, I was doing, I do built-ins and, what have you. And you just sit back and watch, if I did a tile job, I would sit back and look at the tiles for 20 minutes, kind of take in all the fruits of my labor, as it were, So I understand that. And the same thing goes with the comic books too. Oftentimes the results are a lot more quicker than doing a tile job or, doing a built-in. But nonetheless, it's a lot of fun to see the results when they come out so good. Because sometimes they just turn out better than you expect. Other times they become very stubborn, like Mike S's book. I don't understand why those books were so hard to work on. But Mike, they're done, and they're heading to CGC probably on Monday. Oh yeah, Stavros, heard DC dropping Batgirl after 90 million spent. Stavros, I want to do a video on this for all you guys. Who are watching now. Lots of stuff happening over at Warner Brothers. A little bit of management shakeup. They hired a new guy who I think you'll recognize the name when I do my video. And he's shaking things up over at Warner Brothers and changing things around and canning a lot of projects. And basically they want to make DC, they want to get away from the television side. They want DC to be more of a theatrical experience, right? So all these TV, these miniseries, like kind of similar to what Disney's doing now, but all these miniseries, like the Batgirl was going to be an HBO Max series with Michael Keaton and what have you. They canned it. 90 million in, they canned it. So yeah, lots going on over there, and lots of things are going to be changing up at Warner Brothers, which will probably impact the DC comic book. So we'll talk about that on a video very, very soon. Prince Zodiac says, wow, Teen Titans 1, nice. Yeah, and that book is a book you often see in rough condition, A Teen Titans #1, where is it? Do I have it here? Again, for those who are just getting here now, I'll pull it out and show it to you. This one here is, that didn't sound good, did it? I'll pull it out and show it to you. I'm pulling out this comic book and showing it to you. Anyways, a really sharp copy of Teen Titans #1. And generally speaking, whenever I've worked on this book, it's usually really rough. It's usually like a 4, a 5, a 6, maybe a 7. This one here, at a quick glance, yeah, this book's going to be a 9.0 plus, guaranteed. So, yeah, nice to see a Teen Titans one, especially in high grade. And seeing any of those DC books, those Silver Age DC books in high grade are really quite something. Hoping for a great bump on my Iron Man 55. Fingers crossed, Av. Fingers crossed. Prince Zodiac says selling is like watching your kids leave for college or move out to get their own place. The house just seems empty. Probably more dramatic. Probably more. What's the word I'm looking for? Probably a little more heartbreaking when your kids leave. Not so much a comic book. But, I mean, it's funny. I took, my wife cleaned out Jack's room, and he had a few toys we were going to take over to the Goodwill. And he had this big Batman, I'll move over a little bit. He had this big Batman bat cave he played with, and he had it for about 3 or 4 years. And he used to use it to play with all kinds of toys, not just his superhero stuff. But it was such a cumbersome piece of toy that was made of plastic and cardboard, and it's getting the boot. So I took it to the Goodwill with Jack, and I put it in the Goodwill box, and then the kid came and grabbed it and started wheeling it into the Goodwill, and Jack just was looking at it as it was being wheeled away. And I sat in the car, and I said, "You okay?" He's like, "Yeah." And you could see he didn't like it. He didn't like that it was going, and I totally get that. I totally get that. I know I'm missing a lot of toys from when I was a kid. I'm sure my mom cleaned house a couple of times without my knowing, because I was a bit of a pack rat. Like all my Micronauts toys, whatever happened to those? I have no idea. And those, I wish I had them still, and they're all gone. So I get it. But selling your comics, you work hard to get these books and to finish off collections and runs and what have you. And so to say goodbye to them, it's hard, man. And then that once you get rid of these books, oftentimes it's almost, they're going up so much, it's almost impossible to get them back again, to bring them back into your collection. So what do? You keep them. That's what I do anyway. But it wasn't my intention to get the villains. I was only going for superheroes. But now that I'm done the superheroes, I'm thinking about going for the villains. And I got Doctor Doom's first appearance, and Ultron's first appearance, and MODOK and all of them, right? There's so many villains. Probably more than there are superheroes, it seems. All the Amazing Spider-Man Rogues Gallery. Good luck. They're so expensive now, right? And I had tons of those. I got rid of them, so now I'm just kicking myself. But anyways. It's like someone leaving home. You're right. Jameer, that's a good looking copy of Iron Man 55. It sure is. And again, Craig's probably going to get a 9+ on that one. Hey, Tim, how's it going? Long time, my friend. John, never regret. I know. David V, I got here better late than ever. David, glad to have you, my friend. Thanks for dropping by. Tim says, if so, what would it be considered by CGC? Restored using tape. Okay, I'm not sure what we're talking about. Are you talking about fixing the spine roll on a book? Because I was talking a bit about that. If you fix the spine roll on a book, it'll come back just regular grade. Even if you have tape on your book, and I've talked about this before, tape on a book is still not considered restoration. You're still going to get a blue label with tape. In fact, I had another one never regret, right, John? I had a Brave and the Bold 27 I picked up, and I bought it for a friend, actually. I knew he wanted one, and he didn't want to buy it. And the book was kind of falling apart. Excuse me. So I took the whole book apart. The spine was split right down the middle. So I put the book back together with acid-free tape. I reformed the spine, and I put tape where the holes go in for the staples, and I reinserted the staples. And when I pressed it, and when I was done, it actually presented really, really well. The book came back a 1.5 or a 1.8 blue label. Tape on cover, tape on spine, no problem. I think that book's in my Instagram, actually. If you want to go have a look, I sold that book, and I wish I never did again. Never regret. I know, but I do, John. I regret getting rid of that book because I don't have another one. Nick says, do you think they will drop the Flash movie, or is it that one way too expensive to take a hit on? Yeah, I think that the Flash movie is going to come out still. I don't know what they're going to do. They reshuffle. Maybe they'll put that one on HBO direct, but they have a lot of dough tied up in that. And what a shame. I don't know what the heck's going to happen over at DC. I got a feeling they're going to do a massive reboot. Maybe they'll take the best from there. Like they'll keep Gal Gadot, or they'll keep Henry Cavill, or they'll keep, I don't know. And maybe they'll just kind of reset it. Or maybe they'll take a breather for a while and just reset from the beginning. I know the the Joker second movie still on the books with Lady Gaga playing Harley Quinn, and it's supposed to be a musical, and I'm totally into that. I think it's going to be great. I think it's going to be fast. I like Lady Gaga. I saw her in, excuse me, I saw her in, come on. Just came out. Gucci. And it was House of Gucci. Yeah, I liked it. I thought she was a little bit overwrought a couple of times, but she actually did a pretty good job. I enjoyed that movie, and I liked her in it. I like Lady Gaga. She's coming along. I think she's a quirky, odd choice, quirky, cool choice for Harley Quinn. That's my opinion, anyway. Hey there, Doc. It's RP. How you doing, RP? Glad you're feeling better. Noticing any changes in turnaround times at CGC? I noticed that the moderns are coming back pretty quick. The economies are still really slow. Again, a lot of guys call me from this time last year saying, hey, 2 weeks, been a year. And they're still there. I check up on the economies, and those damn books are still not even, they're scheduled to be graded. So what I'm going to do for all you guys who have economy books that are going on to the year mark, I'm going to send an email. I'm going to list every single invoice, and hopefully they'll get them done. Because whenever I do that, I've done that for a few guys, and like I'll send one email about one order. They'll say, oh, it's already on its way, and they'll finish it that day, which makes me believe that the books are already done. I think the books are graded. They're just sitting there. They're just sitting there. And I know that I've said this before as well, I think that their shipping department sending books out are overrun now. Remember, that guy sent me 2 books that didn't belong to me a couple of weeks back. I think that kind of nonsense is happening now because their shipping department on return shipping are making mistakes. They again shipped another book to me today, a mechanical error. I don't think I was charged for it. It was another James S. His She-Hulk #1, I believe, came back. It was cracked, and they sent it back, and they sent it back by itself, express. They probably paid $150 to ship that book back to me, and they could have just shoved it into one of my boxes, because and by the way, I think I've got like 3 to 5 boxes on the way back as we speak. So get ready for the unboxings, guys. We're going to have a shit ton of unboxings in the next couple of, probably next few days and weeks. I think the first one's due back on Saturday or Sunday, and then a bunch more are coming. So that's pretty cool to know. Davey Claire says, I have a 9.2 of that book, Teen Titans. You do? Nice, Davey. That's a great one. Nick Parker, hopefully you can get that Teen Titans one. I'll try. I don't hold my breath. 9.8. Listen, if you watched the show a couple of weeks back, the unboxing of that of Jason's Batman 232 and a 9.8, I was flabbergasted when I saw that. That is hard to get a 9.8 in, and they gave him a 9.8. So hey, you never know. Maybe we'll get a 9.8 in that Teen Titans #1. I hope so. RP says, trying to gauge when to expect my books, Nova's, Jim Annual, and others. RP, thinking December. You want, if they're moderns and if they're from me, if I've sent them out and I billed you already, you want to, if I've billed you, the books have been at CGC probably for 3 or 4 weeks already. Go to their website, see the turnaround time, you can kind of figure that out. Prince Zodiac, I wish I had my Micronauts as well. I was close to getting emotional with that story about Jack's Toys. I told myself I wouldn't cry. I know, Neil? And I was too. I was like, maybe I shouldn't be getting rid of this. Maybe I should be putting it away. But I'm going to tell you, man, I've taken all of his, like his grandfather bought him a whole bunch of those Power Rangers, those Zords, those big Zords. They're pretty cool, eh? And so I packed what he didn't lose, because he has lost a bunch of the parts and pieces. But what was left, I wrapped them in bubble wrap, put them in bins. So the significant pieces, I won't let him give those away, or I won't give them away. Like this thing was just so big and cumbersome, and whatever. But the actual action figures and his big figurines, even his Lego, Star Wars Lego and stuff, I wrapped that in bubble wrap, and I've stored it. I need a lot of storage, but I stored it. So he can determine what he wants to keep when he's older. Tim Metters, when a comic has a quarter cover missing, can it be replaced by a quarter cover from the same issue from a different comic? This is what I was asking earlier in that thread. Oh, so you mean, can you take a donor book and cut it off and put it on? Yeah, I guess you can. But the way CGC will look at that is if it doesn't appear to be from the same book, they could say pieces added, in which case they could give you, more than likely, if pieces are added, you're probably going to get a purple restored label. Yeah. Although if you take, say, a wrap from another book, let's say I have a copy of Iron Man 55 and the cover's missing. I got a coverless copy, and I so happen to buy a copy of a cover on eBay, and I take the cover, original cover, and I put it on top, or I bound it to the book that I have with no cover. Well, could you get away with that? Could CGC look at it as original? I guess it's possible, but every time I've seen someone try to do that, it's come back green, qualified, and they'll say married front cover. You could even the interior wraps, it'll say married interior wrap. So you got to be cautious of that. Yeah. But I think when you add pieces, like if you take a piece of the same book and put it on, they'll give it a purple label. Excellent. Eh? Good, Henry. Marco's here. Hey, Marco, how's it going? I have some books I invoiced in February. When would be a good time to drop them off? Yeah, now. We're getting there. So, yeah, Marco, you want to come on by. I'm working on January, February now. What I'm going to do also, guys, for you guys with small orders, I'm going to do the exact same thing I did before. I'm going to reshuffle my binder, and guys with like books, with orders of like 1 to 6 books or 1 to 7 books, something like that. Maybe 1 to 5. I don't know. I'll figure that out. I'm going to make a separate binder. I'm going to start attacking those ones as well. So you guys with 1 or 2 books, I know Jason, you're out there with that Hulk 181. I know you've been waiting. I feel terrible for 1 book. You know, I'm going to get those singles done and sent off as soon as I can. Yeah. James says, have you started working on books from this year? Oh yeah, I'm on there now, James. I am working on books from this year. And, you know, I don't want to close. Like, honestly, I probably have enough books here. And I know books that are coming in that I could probably get me, if I stop taking books in right now, just stopped and said, no more, I'm not taking any more books until I'm caught up. That's it. I could probably go until December. November, December, probably. But I don't want to stop taking books in just yet. I still have room, so I'm okay. And we are getting, like, I got Charlo working on big orders, and I'm doing a couple of big orders myself. That's what's slowing me down. We got, guys, you got to remember, it's not, you might submit 5 or 10 books, but oftentimes I'll get books of like orders of 30 books or 40 books. And those take a lot of time. And if I'm doing 100 books in a week, that half of the books are already taken up with one dude's order. So that takes up my press, you know, a lot. So that, coupled with the fact I was pretty under the weather, didn't help any either. But I'm back. I'm feeling better. I might take a couple of days and go on take some vacation time this summer and go away for a day here and there. No plans on going away for 2 or 3 weeks. But a few, you know, a weekend here or a couple of days here is probably going to happen as well. But then when September rolls around, I'm at it again, like full time every single day, you know, 9 to 5. So we'll see. Hopefully we can really put a nick in this. David says CGC seems to be paying people, I guess, for extra cash. Pay for Fast Track and get it quick. Economy is 231 days out right now. Pay for Fast Track 23 days seems kind of rotten to me. Yeah. And that's what I'm doing. I'm not even doing anything other than Fast Track Economy. I won't even do a regular economy. Unless somebody's giving me a lot of books and they want to do economy, I won't. I'm not even offering. You want economy, send them yourself. Because to me, like, and you guys who are asking me where are my books, I want to give these books to you. I've got these invoices open for a year, man. I've got file folders from last August still waiting for these damn orders to be done. The rest of the books have come back with these stupid and in some cases, it's 1 or 2 books. I was an idiot too. I should have probably stopped doing economy a year ago. I should have done economy. Listen, before they got rid of the value tier, if you remember, they had a value tier. It was a few bucks cheaper than economy. And that would take a year every time. I never offered that. I always, if you wanted value, I didn't even offer value. I offered value fast track if you wanted it. And it was like a buck or two cheaper than economy back then. They got rid of it. They phased out the value tier. But then economy has become the new value tier, right? Where you had these exorbitant, crazy long wait times. I don't use it anymore. But moderns are coming pretty quickly. I see some moderns coming back within 3 or 4 weeks. And economy fast tracks are coming back again, almost the same as that. So if I can, that should be okay. I got to get that email sent to them and get those other economies and the other magazine ones from way, way long ago that are still in limbo there. Like, it's just ridiculous, but it is pretty crappy. The people with the money can get the books faster. But I'll tell you, David, I've got guys asking me all the time, I'll pay you, you want $25 a book, I'll pay you $40 a book, 45, 50 even sometimes, to get the books done. Put mine to the front of the line. And I know some pressers are doing that. I know, I'm not going to mention any names, you might know them already, but a lot of pressers who are busy have that they adjusted their pricing schedule to kind of match what's happening in the busyness of our comic community. But I didn't feel right doing that because I already had so many guys waiting. You know what I mean? If I was all caught up and all of a sudden say, you know what, I'm going to take advantage of this now and charge an extra if you want your books done right away. But again, I've always been months out, and because of that, it is what it is, right? Some guys just all of a sudden start charging more. I didn't want to do that. I won't change will my pricing change eventually? Probably will. Everything's going up. I'm going to have to do as well. But for now, everything is status quo. Prince Zodiac. Nice tip from Neil again. Thank you, Neil. Is paper quality the reason older books respond better to cleaning and pressing? I have the boxes to Son Hunter's Godzilla figures. He's watching with, hey, Hunter, how's it going? Good to see you, Hunter. Thanks for watching. Yeah, I think so. I think the older books humidify a lot nicer, and because of that, they take the moisture in. When you go press them, they relax a lot more. The Golden Age books they're just more pulpy. They're very pulpy. You could have a sharp fold, you could have a sharp fold like this in a Golden Age book, and you could get rid of it to the point where you don't even see the seam, or the seam is almost completely vanishes. It's because the paper is very, very forgiving. I was actually reading one of Kenny Sanderson's, he was doing some leaf casting on a comic. It was an old Batman book, I think, on Instagram. And he said there was glue on the interior spine, and he had to be very aggressive to get this, because glue, once it's on there, you got to scrape it off. But he said the Golden Age paper was actually able to withstand all the scraping. So, maybe they made things better in the old days. Maybe these old comics were made better too. So, yeah. The paper just does, and those two, but I'll tell you, those two, what do you call it? Those two Invincible books that are in the press right now, I humidified those for about 10 hours. And you know what? Even though the paper has got that plasticky feel to it, the humidity actually got into the paper, man. And I'm going to get a great press out of those books. I'm really excited about that. That's awesome. But thanks again for the tip, Neil. Much, much appreciated, as always. Mike's here. Hey, Mike, I think I may be one of those large order... Mike, you always are one of those large order dudes. I think Mike had, I think, almost a 50-book order, close to, maybe not 50, but like 45 books, So those took a couple of weeks, right? We work on them together. I go through them. I tweak them. But Mike, funny story. I was checking you had a G.I. Joe in there, and it was pretty rough. Your GI, you know what I'm talking about. Your G.I. Joe's number was pretty rough, and Charlo was working on that one. So I looked at it, I said, no, it's not good enough. Put it again. And Charlie's like, Kevin, that book was in terrible. He goes, I think if the owner sees it now, he's going to be totally impressed. I go, well, do a little bit more. He did more. That we pressed. Guess how many times we pressed your G.I. Joe book, Mike? 9 times. 9 times. You want to know why the comic doctor is so damn slow? That's why the comic doctor is so damn slow. Because I'm not satisfied easy. The book's got to, you know. And then at that point, I said, okay, we're done. After 9 presses, I think it was 10 presses in the very end. Yeah, you know, modern books shouldn't get that many presses. You know, but the thing is, I sometimes don't see the books as he's working on them. I look at them after they're done. So I don't know the state of the book prior to the press. So when I get the book, if I still think it needs more, he'll keep doing the work until I'm satisfied, or I'll do it myself. But that one, it looks a hell of a lot better than it did, Mike. You got a good job. But boy, your Silver Age books look fantastic. That I can tell you right off the bat. Arnold's here. Hey, Arnold, how's it going? Marco Collector says, I'm doing good. I'm glad to see you're feeling better. Thank you, Marco. Mike S. Says, hey, Kevin, caught you right near the end of the video. Yeah, I'm not quite done yet. What time? We're going 41 minutes. Yeah, I'm going to get out of here soon. David, excellent. And Marcos, are you being affected by inflation? I mean, in my personal life, I think we all are we not? In the comic world, I got a bad feeling about, I have a really scary feeling when the rent is renegotiated in, because every year they with commercial leases, they can increase your rent twice, double. They could double it if you want. Then too bad, so sad, get out, right? Hopefully they don't do that. But I'm nervous about what's going to happen there. Yeah, I don't know. But you know, I don't use a lot. I mean, I use things like you know, bags and boards. You know, they haven't gone up too much. You know, no, it hasn't killed me yet. But it's just the operating costs in general. Gas to go from A to B. You know, shipping has gone up. Like CGC, like sending books to CGC and mailing books. I know it's gone around 20%. I'd say it's gone around 20-25%. It's gone up easily. Which kind of stinks. So I have seen that. So, you know, there are certain elements of the business that definitely have increased with inflation. And, yeah, you know, which really blows. David, thanks for the $10 tip. Thanks a lot, David. Very kind of you. Very, very generous. Always very grateful to the guys when you send tips out, guys. It's much appreciated. As I build this channel. Also happy to announce I figured out how to use that software. I mentioned the other day that I was looking at bringing guests in here. Well, now I have figured it out. I was making a silly error with my microphone and I figured it out now. It's working. So expect some guests soon. I'm going to get that show going, the Star Wars Straight Talk. I know we got a lot of Star Wars fans out there. I know I sure am a big Star Wars fan. And we'll do that show probably the next, no, I'm not going to say exactly, but the next few weeks. I'm waiting on one guy I asked to come in and join in with the conversation. So it should be fun, and I'll definitely put that up, and hopefully you can come out and enjoy that with us. Again, thanks very much, David. I certainly appreciate it. It's very generous of you, man. Jim Malas says, hail chat and Doc. How you doing? How you doing there, Jim Malas? Good to see you. Mike says, I'll wait for the quality work. Thanks. Well, thank you, Mike, and I certainly appreciate that. Prince Zodiac, that's why the comic doctor is so damn good. Well, yeah. So yeah, you know what? I don't think I'd want to do this if I was cutting corners. You know, if I had like a $15 press or a $10 press where it's in and out and you knew what you were getting, it's a different story. You know, like a quick press, which I think is what CGC does now. It's a different story. But no, we put them in until we're happy. Mike says, so Kevin, my 8 copies of Nova 1 were a pay. Yes! Mike, they were, man. Those books were so, oh my God. I think each one of those were pressed 4 or 5 times. Just so you know. and that even the Hulk 181 was a bit of a bugger too. The Hulk 181 had a bit of, the paper wasn't very supple, you know, and so it wasn't taking the humidity very good in the humidity chamber. So it had a lot of detailing work. And I'm happy with it. I mean, it had a very sharp bend down the middle. It's never going to go away. I mean, the book was folded like this at one point. Is it better? Yes. You know, I still stand where I think the book's going to get anywhere from a 6 to a 7. That's where I think it's going. I think it's going to be higher than a 5.5. I think the spine has a couple of little missing little minute pieces, you know, they might nail you on that. Other than that, the book does present very nicely. So, hey, who knows? You might get a 7 on that. I'm still thinking 6.5. but we'll see soon enough. It's going to go out to CGC on Monday, Mike. Thanks for the stream, Doc. Have a great weekend. Neil, you too. I'm going to take off myself, actually, guys, because I think dinner is waiting for me. Sam says, if you have to press a book multiple times, when do you call it quits? I call it quits. Look, if a book is really minty, like a book has a shot at a 9.8, and there's a problem that doesn't want to, it's being stubborn, I'll work on that like maybe 3 or 4 times until it's finally gone. If it's so stubborn it's not going to go anywhere, then it's not going to go anywhere. Every time you put in the press, more problems could arise. So, you got to really kind of gauge whether or not you should do that. So, most of the time, like with those Novas that Mike was mentioning, some of them had a lot of problems with them. Some of them are never going to get above a certain grade. So I'll work on the book till I think, okay, this book will not, if it's a 7.5 or has potential to be a 7.5, there's no way it's going to get to, in my mind, it's no way it's going to get to an 8. If I've gotten all the problems out that I think are going to detract from it getting that 7.5, then I stop, But generally speaking, when that happens, the book has been worked on a lot. And then I'm like, okay, I'm done. Because how long can you work on a thing for? You can work on a book for 2, 3, 4, 5 hours, and oftentimes, like that GI Joe #1 being pressed 10 times, total overkill. I'm going to tell you right now, and that's my fault, but yeah. Oh, Mike, thanks so much, my friend. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Mike. And thank you for your patience. The books are, like I said, heading to CGC on probably Monday. Damn autocorrect. What'd you say, Sam? If you have to press a book multiple times, when do... I knew what you meant. Buddy. Arnold, have you considered buying a scanner for your office and charging a $2 fee for each high-quality scan? No. No way. I'm not doing it. Only because that'd be more time. $2 for me to go no interest. While I'll tell you, taking pictures has come in very handy. And when I have high value books, I oftentimes do before and afters anyways. But doing scanning of pictures, no. I think if you want that, guys, CGC offers it. It's $5, I think, per book. I can always add that on if anybody wants that. But no one's ever asked for that. But yeah, I won't do that. It's not honestly the $2 for me to spend 10 minutes doing that. No. That's my own thing. But anyways, guys, that'll do it, guys. I have to take off. Thank you so much for coming out today and watching What's in the Press. Remember, hit that subscribe button so you can also take part in these conversations as well. If you have any questions for me, you can always ask them in a future show. And hit that notification bell so you'll know when I'm going live next. And I will be going live very soon because, like I said, several boxes are on their way back from CGC as we speak. My friends, have a great rest of your week. Probably see you again in a few days. So until then, take care. Have a good night. Bye now.